Hello everyone, my name is Moronto Miankibuwa and I'm an Executive Research Officer for the ThinkCyber Nigeria Kaizen program. Cyber threats are evolving faster than many industries and schools can keep up with. That's where the Kaizen program comes in. It's a hands-on learning series that helps to bridge the gap between theory and real-world cybersecurity practice. In today's session, we'll be diving into Hackable 2 and Hackable 3, two machines that will test our skills in reconnaissance, exploitation, and privilege escalation. We'll break down each step, understand the techniques, and see how they apply in real world scenarios. Welcome to the Kaizen program. Let's get started.
By the way, if you're looking to level up your cybersecurity career, ThinkCyber Nigeria next simulator training kicks off on the 25th of August 2025. This advanced program offers real-world labs and simulations, specialization tracks in penetration testing, SOC operations, and digital forensics, a pathway to Tier 2 professional readiness. This program is for everyone, whether you're a student, graduate, or tech-driven professional. This is your opportunity to stand out in the global cybersecurity job market. Applications are now open. Join the next elite cohorts. Let's dive in.
Moving on to Hackable 3. Hackable 3 is a vulnerable machine that requires chaining multiple techniques to achieve full compromise. The attack path involves discovering hidden directories, extracting embedded information from image files, decoding data to reveal a port knocking sequence, and brute forcing SSH credentials. Privilege escalation is achieved by exploiting misconfigured LXD root permissions to create a privileged container, mount the host file system, and gain root access. To kick off the exploitation, I started with reconnaissance. Initial reconnaissance using NetDiscovered identified the target, and then an aggressive Nmap scan revealed open ports 22 and port 80.
I use the Nmap again by enabling the -A, which is the aggressive scan flag, to perform a robust scan on the target, utilizing the Nmap script, which is gotten from the Nmap scripting engine. And here we can see that the port 22 is still in a filter state, and the port 80 is also open, and as you can see here, it has the robot.txt, which we'll go ahead and visit. But before doing that, we use GoBuster, a brute force directory tool, to perform a directory brute force scan on the port 80, and here we're able to find the 3.jpg backup, config, and many other files, which I'll be showing you the result of the GoBuster output here. This is the command being used, and here is the output of the GoBuster. There you can see it has the backup, config, and many more files, many more hidden subdomains. So I went ahead to view the source code, and viewing the source code revealed to me some hints, whereby I was able to uncover the username called jubiscludo, and also I was also able to uncover that there was port knocking being activated. Here it says, please jubiscludo, don't forget to activate the port knocking when exiting your section, and tell the boss not to forget to approve the .jpg file. With this now, I know there is port knocking enabled, and also there's a file called 3.jpg which needs to be approved by the boss. Port knocking is basically a way of hiding services such as SSH behind closed ports until a series of connection attempts is made to a particular number of ports. This is a /config. It showed a file called 1.txt. Upon opening the file, we're able to uncover that it was base 64 encoded, which upon decoding it gave us port 10,000. Then went ahead to also check the /css, whereby we saw a file called 2.txt, and we're able to uncover a brainfuck string, which we went ahead to decode with the brainfuck online decoder, and we're able to decode the second port to be the port and the target IP address. You can see here the port 10,000, the port 4,444, and the port 65,435 were knocked, and here is me performing a new scan on the port 22 alone, and you can now see it has gone from the filter state to now being open. Now that it has been opened, we can go ahead and perform a brute force attack on the port 22, which I did using the Hydra tool. With Hydra and giving it the username we found from the source code of the web page, which shows here Jubis Cluedo. And also during the enumeration phase, we're able to uncover a word list, which was also stored at the /backup. This is the word list.txt. So with Jubis Cluedo and this word list, we're able to find the exact login details to connect remotely via SSH. And here it is, we're able to find out that the password is only mine. Now with this, remote connection was automated via Metasploit framework using the SSH_login auxiliary module. Here is the way we used it. We search for the SSH_login and we use the auxiliary scanner SSH_login module, which loaded up the options, and the options included the set username as Jubis Cluedo, and we set the password of the file to be the only my password, which upon running we're able to gain foothold as the Jubis Cluedo user, which is being shown here. A session has been opened as user Jubis Cluedo.
So this started the process of privilege escalation. Once I logged in as user Jubis Cluedo, I looked around the file system and I discovered a hidden file named backupconfig.php in the web server directory, which reviewed database credentials of Hackable 3 and its password. So using the database credentials found, I was able to gain access as Hackable 3. So using the id command, I was able to confirm that user Hackable 3 was part of the LXD group. So I started by initializing LXD and I pulled Alpine 3.19 container image. Then I created a privileged LXD container for host file system access, and then I mounted the host's root file system inside the container. So after doing that, I used chroot to switch into the host file system with root privileges, which enabled me to gain full root access. So the vulnerabilities identified in Hackable 3 align with several OWASP top 10 categories. First, broken access control. This was misconfigured LXD group membership, which allowed privilege escalation to root. Then, security misconfiguration. The port knocking, service exposure, unnecessary open services, and default LXD configuration. Then, identification and authentication failures. Weak SSH credentials which were obtained via brute force. Then, insecure design. Sensitive data which were encoded credentials were stored in accessible files without encryption. These weaknesses collectively enabled a complete system compromise and underscored the need for stronger access controls, secure configuration practices, and robust authentication mechanisms.
And I'll be giving some recommendations also. The first recommendation is to restrict shell access and monitor login attempts. Adding the SSH, which can be done in the /etc/sshg_config, and permissions to be set includes the permit root login as no and also password authentication as no. Avoid storing credentials in code or config files, and lastly, patch vulnerable binaries. Immediately update pokit to fix the pkexec vulnerability in the case of this CTF. I will briefly be showing you the weekly activity reports, which goes from the discovery phase also, which can be seen here, the tools used, the approach or the technique and its uniqueness, to the enumeration phase, the tools and services identified, techniques and uniqueness of technique, to the foothold, which also has the method used, technique, and the uniqueness of technique, the privilege escalation, and lastly, general notes or reflections. I would also be showing you briefly the mind map.
Now, the mind map visually represents the attack path taken during the Hackable 3 assessment. It starts with the discovery phase, showing initial network scans and early web enumeration that revealed hidden resources. Next is enumeration, where we expanded findings using Dare-Buster's steganography and multi-layer decoding to uncover the port knocking sequence. The foothold phase follows, illustrating how port knocking and Hydra brute force were changed to gain SSH access. Finally, in privilege escalation, the diagram shows abusing the LXD group to create a privileged container mount the host file system, and obtain root. The mind map helps communicate the logical progression from initial discovery to full system compromise.
By the way, if you're looking to level up your cybersecurity career, ThinkCyber Nigeria has got you covered. The next Cyber Simulator training kicks off on August 25th of 2025.